Welcome to JasonWhiskyWise. My name is Jason. Welcome to this whiskey review here on the channel, where today we're going to be reviewing the Glenmorangie Allta. So Allta is the latest edition, number 10 actually, in the private editions range from Glenmorangie, and it's a very interesting one as it focuses on the element of yeast. So in whiskey creation, you have the four main components. Mainly a lot of people remember the three, which is water, yeast, and barley. But people forget the last one, which is oak, and that is one of the core components, as if you don't leave a whiskey to age in oak barrels, it doesn't become a whiskey. You don't leave the spirit in whiskey barrels. Yeah, you guys get the picture. Anyway, so this one is the latest edition, and I was actually kindly invited to the launch here in London, where I got to meet Brendan McCarran and Dr. Bill Lumsden from Glenmorangie, and we actually got to taste this one together. And if you guys are interested in a sort of behind the scenes, as I recorded the whole launch, I might put like as a private video. I might leave that down below. Just let me know what you guys think. Leave it in the comment section if you'd like to see that, as I might make that an exclusive video. So we'll get back to this one. So I've got a little bit poured over in my glass, and I actually got my own glassware now. So I've got a Companta, and I've also got Glencairn. So if any of you guys are interested in these, do let me know, as these might be my first merch items. So it's actually gone a little bit steamy. We'll keep that down there for a second. So Glenmorangie Allta it translates into Gaelic, and it's from Gaelic as it means wild, and it's based off a wild strain of yeast, which was actually noted down in Michael Jackson's book. Not the singer, the writer. The famous whiskey writer in a first edition, I believe it was, where he spoke about the Glenmorangie estate having this very unique strain of yeast called Saccharomyces diamath. And it's different from your regular distilling yeast, so you'll see a difference if you guys are going to be trying this and the original. See a day and night difference in the character until you leave them for some time, and then you'll see that classic Glenmorangie style coming through. So it's a no age statement whiskey, but Dr. Bill did mention it's around about 8, maybe up to 10 years old, so it's between 8 and 10 years of age. It's bottled at a higher ABV of 51.2, which is very unique because Glenmorangie normally keep it under that 46. In terms of the actual cask selection, this is a combination of second fill and refill bourbon barrels. So Dr. Bill explained that if you actually use first fill bourbon in this spirit, on the spirit of this one, when it was aging, it'll get overpowered by those first fill bourbon characters. So if you left it for second and third fill, you then really get to start to see the actual character from this unique style of yeast play a difference. And many people have asked online, they say, oh, yeast has got nothing to do. If you change the yeast, it will not change anything very much. But it actually does, and it's very interesting. So the distillery itself is the Glenmorangie Distillery. They're owned by a parent company, LVMH, Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, and they're located in the Highland region of Scotland. So the price point on this whiskey is around about £80. It's actually every time a private edition comes to the market, it's always going to be £80. But if you're someone who, say, 10 years ago picked up something like Sonnalta PX or Finealta, you're looking at something that's like £500 now. So it is a limited edition release. And without further ado, I believe let's just get straight into the whiskey in itself. So as we get started into the nose for the Glenmorangie Allta, straight away I'm getting this very unique green cider apples character working its way through. Hints of sourdough bread, white pepper tingling the nostrils, and even a hint of gooseberries in this one. Quite interesting. You do get a little bit of that yeasty character coming through, and it's almost like you've left a bit of dough to proof for a little period of time, and that's the sort of, as soon as you lift off the cling film, or the what do you call it? It's escaped from my mind. But as soon as you remove that, yes, it is cling film. As soon as you remove the cling film off the top of the actual bowl where you've got something proofing, you smell that yeasty character, that doughy goodness. Following up from that, I'm getting a very nice citrus, but it's like a lemon, almost like a lemon zest coming through. Dry straw, and it does have a little astringency about it as well. It's quite interesting. This has spent some time in the glass, but I'm actually even getting, I think it's called a cantaloupe melon, one of those like white melons. And definitely one thing that Dr. Bill said that I'm finding, and I don't know if that's like sort of influencing, but I'm getting sort of a pizza dough. It's like a pizza dough base, actually. It's so weird to say that, but that's exactly how I find this one. Very, very interesting on the nose. Let's get into the palate next. Slanger. So working my way off the first sip on this whiskey, it does have a very similar profile to the actual nose. Straight away, texture-wise, you're getting a nice medium full texture, that higher ABV playing around with a little bit of an oilier character on the arrival. But I do get that sort of, again, those green apples, very sort of tart green apples. You do get that crackle of white pepper, a little bit of a punch from the ABV as it's got a little bit of that bite to it. And then following from that, you do get that almost like a dough. It's doughy character. It actually reminds me of dough balls. The gooseberries are back, and then you work into a light, mild citrus. I'm actually even getting hints of apricots on this one. Green pears. And there is a little bit of a, I don't know, I'm finding a little bit salty, almost like a salted pretzel. It's very interesting. I've never had a salted character so much in a Glenmorangie, but it's a very interesting whiskey. I'll have a second sip into this one. I am getting that salted character really coming stronger as you keep it longer on the palate, and to me it reminds me a little bit of salted almonds, where you get that little bit of a nutty character as well. However, you do get this nice sweetness, almost like a toffee note, and it sort of ends itself with a nice juicy, succulent sultanas, a bit more lighter, not very dark in character. Really nice stuff. Let's get into the finish next, and we'll come to the end of our tasting notes. So now finally, to conclude the Alta, in terms of my overall finishing notes, it does have a nice long finish to this whiskey. You do get a nice, almost creamy, almost like an almond milk. Maybe almond butter. Very quite interesting on the finish. You get a lot of these lovely sweeter characters of fudge, toffee. I'm actually even reminding me of oatcakes a little bit as it develops further. Buttered pastries. And then even on the end of this one, I am getting that doughy character that remains very consistent from start to finish, which I think is just really great in itself. Now, I do also recommend, if you guys haven't, I did write notes with water on this one, and water does play massive strength to this whiskey, so a few drops of water actually makes it so much more palatable. At the same time, you get a lot more from the whiskey. However, the rating I'm going to give this one here is an 89 out of 100. The reason behind that, it does need some water to really open this whiskey out a little bit more. And I also did leave this one when I did my first tasting notes on this one for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and 30 minutes as separate pours. And I found the one at 20 minutes giving you the optimum character, and it gives you so much more. So do give this some time in the glass, because it is a younger Glenmorangie, and you'll start to see a lot more development in flavour profile. In terms of, does it need time? Yes. Does it need water? I'd highly recommend that. Do I think it's value for money? Definitely, it's good value for money as it's part of the private editions range. Many people I know are going to be probably buying this one and exploring it because of the yeast element of it being very unique. I've met also a few people recently in the last few days who are buying this one just to keep it. I'd say explore it. Understand the whiskey, because it is something very, very unique. Anyway, that's going to be it for the video. If you guys have enjoyed, again, please feel free to drop it a thumbs up. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, which I'll leave over here. And that's going to be it for the end of the video. If you guys have enjoyed, again, drop a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you all for the next video. Sludge.